Have you ever wondered what the Philippines was like before the Spanish galleons first appeared on the horizon? What kind of society existed before the cross and sword forever changed its destiny? Today, we're embarking on a journey back in time, exploring the vibrant, complex world of the pre-colonial Philippines and tracing the profound transformations that occurred under Spanish rule. This isn't just a history lesson. It's the story of a nation's soul, a tale of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring spirit of the Filipino people. Let's rewind the clock, long before Ferdinand Magellan's arrival in 1521. Picture a sprawling archipelago of over 7,000 islands, not as a single unified country, but as a mosaic of independent communities known as barangays. These weren't just simple villages, they were sophisticated social units, often located along coasts and rivers, the highways of the ancient world. Each barangay was led by a datu, a chieftain who ruled not by absolute power, but through wisdom, bravery, and the respect of his people. The datu was a leader, a judge, and a protector, guiding his community through the challenges of daily life. Life in these pre-colonial barangays was structured and intricate. Society was typically divided into three classes: the nobility, or majinu, which included the datu and his family; the free men, known as timawa or maharlika, who were warriors, traders, and artisans; and the dependents, or alipin, who served the upper classes. It is crucial to understand that the concept of alipin was far from the European idea of slavery. It was a complex system of obligation and servitude, and individuals could move between these social strata. One of the most remarkable aspects of this era was the respected position of women. In many communities, women could own property, inherit leadership roles, and were central to the spiritual life of the barangay. These were the babaylans, the female shamans and spiritual leaders. They were healers, advisors, and conduits to the spirit world, performing rituals to ensure a good harvest, heal the sick, and guide the community. The babaylan was a figure of immense authority and respect, a testament to the gender-balanced nature of many pre-colonial societies. And what about culture? Forget the misconception of a primitive, isolated people. The pre-colonial Filipinos had their own unique system of writing called baybayin. This elegant script, with its distinct characters, was used to record poetry, messages, and important documents. It's a beautiful symbol of a literate and culturally rich society. Imagine love poems and stories etched onto bamboo strips and palm leaves, a tangible link to the thoughts and feelings of ancestors from centuries ago. Economically, the archipelago was a bustling hub of international trade. Its strategic location made it a crossroads for maritime commerce. Filipinos were skilled seafarers and merchants, sailing their barangay boats across the seas. Archaeological evidence shows extensive trade with China, India, Japan, and the kingdoms of Southeast Asia. Gold, pearls, and exotic jungle products were exchanged for porcelain, silk, and metals. This wasn't a world in isolation. It was a dynamic and connected part of a thriving Asian trade network. The people were cosmopolitan, accustomed to interacting with different cultures and ideas. Then, everything changed. In 1521, the arrival of Magellan marked the beginning of a new, transformative, and often brutal chapter. While Magellan himself was killed in the Battle of Mactan, led by the valiant Lapu-Lapu, it was only a temporary setback for the Spanish crown. By 1565, Miguel López de Legazpi established the first permanent Spanish settlement in Cebu, and within a few years, Manila became the capital of the new Spanish colony. The era of Spanish rule had begun, and it would last for over 300 years. The Spanish impact was seismic, reshaping every facet of Filipino life. The fragmented system of independent barangays was dismantled and replaced with a centralized government, ruled by a Spanish governor-general who answered directly to the King of Spain. The islands, once a loose collection of communities, were unified under a single name: Las Islas Filipinas, in honor of King Philip II. This political consolidation laid the groundwork for the modern Filipino nation-state, but it came at the cost of local autonomy. Perhaps the most profound and lasting change was the introduction of Roman Catholicism. the Spanish mission was not just about conquest, it was about conversion. Friars from different religious orders fanned out across the islands, building magnificent stone churches that still stand today. The old animistic beliefs and the authority of the Babaylan were suppressed, often violently. Filipinos were baptized, given Spanish names, and taught the Catholic faith. The fiesta, a celebration in honor of a town's patron saint, became a cornerstone of community life, blending Catholic ritual with indigenous traditions of feasting and celebration. Education and language were also transformed. The Latin alphabet replaced Baybayin, which gradually fell into disuse, while the Spanish language became the medium of government, law, and literature for the elite. It never fully replaced the local languages among the general populace. The friars, in their effort to spread the gospel, actually became experts in local dialects, producing some of the earliest grammars and dictionaries of languages like Tagalog and Cebuano. Economically, the Spanish introduced the encomienda system. This was a land grant given to Spanish conquistadors and officials, giving them the right to collect tribute from the natives living on that land. In theory, the encomendero was supposed to provide protection and religious instruction. In practice, it often led to widespread abuse and the exploitation of Filipino labor. This system fundamentally altered land ownership patterns and created a new landed elite, a social structure whose effects are still felt in the Philippines today. The galleon trade between Manila and Acapulco, Mexico, also turned the Philippines into a vital link in a global economic network, but the profits primarily benefited the Spanish and the colonial elite, not the majority of the Filipino people. So, what is the legacy of this 333-year period? It's a story of profound and complex fusion. The Philippines today is a unique blend of East and West. You can see it in the language, peppered with Spanish loanwords. You can see it in the architecture, with Baroque churches standing alongside modern skyscrapers. You can see it in the food, a delicious mix of indigenous ingredients and Spanish culinary techniques. You see it in the names, the laws, and the strong Catholic faith of the majority of the population. But to say the Philippines simply became a copy of Spain would be a huge misreading of history. The story of Spanish rule is also a story of Filipino resistance. From the early revolts of leaders like Tamblot and Dagohoy to the widespread nationalist movement of the 19th century, Filipinos never passively accepted foreign domination. The very oppression and unification under Spain ironically sowed the seeds of a national consciousness. Shared grievances against a common colonizer helped forge a shared identity. This spirit of resistance culminated in the propaganda movement, led by brilliant minds like José Rizal, Marcelo H. del Pilar, and Graciano López Jaena. Through their novels, essays, and newspapers, they exposed the injustices of colonial rule and awakened a sense of national pride. Rizal's novels, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, were particularly explosive, lighting the fuse for the Philippine Revolution of 1896. So, when we look at the Philippines today, we see a nation forged in the crucible of history. We see the echoes of the ancient barangay in the strong community ties and the spirit of bayanihan, or communal cooperation. We see the influence of Spain in the faith, the fiestas, and the family names. And most importantly, we see the enduring, resilient Filipino spirit. A spirit that absorbed foreign influences without losing its core identity. A spirit that fought for its freedom and continues to define what it means to be Filipino. From the wisdom of the Datus to the courage of the revolutionaries, the story of the Philippines is a powerful testament to a culture that has been shaped by the world, but has always remained uniquely itself. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through Philippine history. If you found this story fascinating, please hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into the cultures that shape our world. Let me know in the comments what part of this history resonated with you the most. Until next time, take care.